Assalamualaikum. Thanks for joining me this Thursday on 7Edition. I'm Ras Adibaradzi and these are tonight's top stories. Government considers curfew for teens under 18. Car lorry collision kills family of 3. And scores shot by police in violent crackdown of protests in Zimbabwe. Hello, it's good to see you again. We begin the bulletin with this story. The Deputy Prime Minister said today that the government is mulling imposing a curfew on those who are under 18 years old, which may help prevent them from getting involved in social ills, particularly drugs. Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said the authorities are looking at the possibility of setting a time limit for them to be out of the house without adult supervision to prevent young people from being involved in negative activities and influences. She said authorities were considering a curfew for children under 18, as records showed that glue sniffing was serious among the young.
That actually affects your brain, and that's why it's affecting the young people, 14, 15, and then as young as 10. So these are our next generation. We have to take care of them. So that's why they have the ACTA to make it such, to be a bit to administer, to strengthen it. Bila anak-anak muda ada curfew, ibu bapa tahu mereka berada di mana-mana dan tidak boleh keluar pada satu setengah masa, dan ini adalah telah mencegahkan banyak insiden dadah di kalangan mereka-mereka yang muda dan remaja, 18 tahun ke bawah.
This was among matters raised and agreed on at a meeting of the Cabinet Committee on Eradicating Drugs chaired by the Deputy Premier. She pointed out that in Iceland, for example, under its Child Protection Act, children under 12 may not be outdoors after 8 p.m. unless accompanied by an adult. Children aged 13 to 16 may not be outdoors after 10 p.m. unless on their way home from a recognized event organized by schools, sports organizations or youth clubs. Those who break the curfew are taken to the police station, and parents will have to pick their children up from there. Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah said the planting of ketum plants will soon require the approval of the Health Ministry. The Poisons Act 1952 will be amended to insert the planting of ketum without permission as an offence.
Bagaimana dimaklum penanaman ketum buat masa ini adalah dibenarkan. Apabila ianya dituai dan dijual adalah menjadi kesalahan. Jadi sekarang ni boleh tanam tapi tak boleh tuai, tak boleh jual. Jadi jawatan kuasa ini bersetuju agar pindaan akta yang berkaitan dibuat bagi memasukkan kesalahan menanam ketum tanpa kebenaran.
Ketum is regulated under the Poisons Act 1952 due to the mitragynine substance present in the plant. A family of 3 died on the spot when their Pro 2 Viva car crashed into a lorry laden with groceries on Jalan Gua Musang, Kuala Krai in Kelantan this morning. In the accident at about 8:35 a.m, the victims who died were the driver, 21-year-old Siti Rashida Idrus, her father Idrus Ibrahim, aged 72, and her mother Gaya Cik Hassan, 65, all from Kampung Awah Paluh Rawa, Machang. The 3 family members were travelling from Gua Musang to Kuala Krai when the driver lost control of the car, which veered into the opposite lane and collided with a lorry coming from the opposite direction. They were trapped in the half-crushed car and firefighters had to extricate them from the wreckage. The victims all died at the scene due to severe head injuries. Their bodies have been sent to the Gua Musang hospital. Meanwhile, the lorry driver and his 2 attendants, whose names were unavailable, sustained minor injuries and received treatment at the same hospital. New York-based Goldman Sachs chief executive has apologized to Malaysia over the investment bank's partner's role in the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB scandal. David Solomon reiterated during an earnings conference call on Wednesday that the investment bank was cooperating with authorities on the probe as he expressed regret over a scandal that has roiled the country. He said it was clear that Malaysians were defrauded by many individuals, including the highest members of the previous government. However, he also defended the institution as a whole, saying it had been misled by Goldman partner Tim Lesner and senior officials in the Malaysian government about the role of a key intermediary in the scandal, Joe Low. In November, the Justice Department announced that former Goldman partner Tim Lesner had pleaded guilty to violating the US anti-bribery and money laundering laws and agreed to pay $43.7 million in restitution. Goldman helped arrange $6.5 billion in bonds for 1MDB. Malaysia has filed criminal charges against Goldman and two former employees for alleged theft. The family of Mongolian national Alton Sharibu has filed an application to compel the Attorney General AG to disclose all statements recorded by the police from accused persons and witnesses during investigations into a 2006 murder. Lawyer Sanjit Kaur Dio, representing the family, told an online portal today that the statements would determine the witnesses the family needed to call in relation to its 100 million ringgit lawsuit filed against 4 defendants, including the government. Sanjit told Free Malaysia today that one of the witnesses was Musa Safri, former Premier Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak's then aide-de-camp. She said the application was filed on Monday and court papers had been served to the AG, who is also the public prosecutor. Sanjit said that it is likely that the application will be heard over the next 2 weeks when the trial in the civil case begins in the Shah Alam High Court on January 22nd. A lawyer was hauled to the Kluang Sessions Court today for 3 counts of criminal breach of trust amounting to 355,437 ringgit last year. 35-year-old Safrina Saadan claimed trial when the charges were read before Judge K. Rajeswari today. On the first charge, the accused of the Tetuan Safrina and Taufik firm allegedly committed the offence in June 2017 in Kluang, Johor, involving 140,000 ringgit received from the Public Sector Home Financing Board. She was also accused of committing the same offence at the same place in August and October 2017, involving another sum of 140,000 ringgit as well as 75,437 ringgit respectively. The accused was charged under Section 309 of the Penal Code, where she faces a maximum imprisonment of 20 years and whipping if convicted. The court fixed bail at 21,000 ringgit and set February 7th for re-mention. In other news, police have seized about 1 kilogram of drugs worth a total of 151,000 ringgit following 3 separate raids conducted in Kota Samarahan, Sarawak. State Narcotics Criminal Investigation Department NCID Head Superintendent Saha Abdul Latif said 11 suspects between the ages of 23 and 58 were also arrested in the operations on Tuesday. He said in the first raid, 2 individuals were detained at 6:10 a.m. with 5.71 grams of shabu, while 7 suspects, including a married couple, were nabbed in the second raid for possessing over 7 grams of the same drug. It is learned that the syndicate had used or rented the bank accounts of other individuals with the rental rates fixed at between 200 and 300 ringgit per transaction. The case is being investigated under the Dangerous Drugs Act. Sarawak police detained 13 individuals during a raid on a 2-storey house, which was used as premises for illegal online gambling activities at Batu Kawa, Kuching, Sarawak today. Those detained included 4 women aged between 20 and 30. 5 of the 13 suspects were locals, while the rest were foreigners who were believed to be the online gambling operators at the premises. Initial investigations found that the syndicates often changed locations to avoid detection by the authorities. But with preliminary information and intelligence, the syndicate was finally busted. According to police, the syndicate managed to make a profit of 1 million ringgit a month through its illegal activities. Apart from being an online gambling centre, the syndicate also provided for bets to be made through a random prepaid method methods on social media sites. In the raid, 7 computers and 29 mobile phones used for the online gambling activities were also seized. The case is being investigated under the Open Gaming Houses Act and the Betting Act. Up next, 2 women caught shaking their buttocks on moving SUV. Details next. Hello again. The Housing and Local Government Ministry is looking into getting 9,000 fireproof suits for the Fire and Rescue Department through a new tender. Speaking to reporters regarding the previous purchase of fireproof suits from an old tender, which was said to be unsafe, Zuraida Kamarudin said the need to get more fireproof suits was to cater for an increase in the number of fire personnel and to keep with the times.
So by February, inshallah, we will get our 6,000 pieces of baju kalis api. Tapi saya review balik, kemungkinan saya akan naikkan lagi permintaan baju kalis api itu kepada 9,000. Kerana saya percaya bahawa saya kena ada some stock untuk standby sekiranya kita perlukan lebih banyak dan sebagainya.
Zuraida added that the ministry will be more strict on the new tender to ensure the suits were of the best quality and at a reasonable price. In 2015, a tender was called for the supply of fireproof suits, but the supply was found not according to specification. A report has been launched with the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, and the case is under investigation. Meanwhile, Zuraida said her ministry will be organising a home expo to address the oversupply of housing units. She said the expo would offer discounts and lower prices for property, especially for first-time house buyers. The home expo is scheduled to take place from March 1st to March 3rd and will also include the participation of banks to assist buyers with loan applications. According to the National Property Information Centre, NAPIC, the number of unsold houses in the country reached a record high of 30,115 units in the third quarter of 2018, valued at 19.5 billion ringgit. This was a 48.35% increase from 20,304 units in the same period in 2017. Now it's time for our daily segment Clickbait, where we look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. They say social media can either make or break you. Now, that is highly proven now, as for the first time in its 10-year history, a Dewi Remaja winner was stripped of her title in an unprecedented move by the pageant. New ID Active today stripped Hanisha Hani's title of Dewi Remaja 2018-2019 after she and 2 of the finalists of the contest were caught on video partying in a nightclub. The footage has since garnered over 1 million views and thousands of retweets on Twitter since its upload. Here are the details. According to the magazine's editor Faiz Aiman, Hanisha's title was revoked following a thorough investigation which found the winner had breached terms of participation. This would mean that the 19-year-old, along with 2 fellow contestants, are forbidden to use any Dewi Remaja title for their future endeavours. It was also announced that this year there will be no title for Dewi Remaja, and Tia Sara remains a second runner-up in the match. In the 26 seconds video, several women can be seen drinking what many believed to be alcoholic drinks from a shot glass. The event held by the 19-year-old was not drawn until a week after the incident of contagious video controversy, which explained the actions of Hanisha and 2 Dewi Remaja finalists, Fazrin Fazia and Ernie Shahira. The viral video has sparked anger since Tuesday among social media users who question the credibility of the pageant's contestants as they are viewed as role models for young women throughout the years. Caution, road twerk ahead. 2 passionate passengers hopped atop the roof of a wide SUV driving westbound along a busy highway in St. Louis on Monday, where a quick-thinking witness pulled out her cell phone and recorded the wild routine. Jackie Fredoff uploaded the dangerous stunt on her Facebook profile, and the videos totaled over 300,000 views. Take a look. These 2 women put their lives and others in jeopardy just to get their twerk on. Fredoff said she was only driving about 16 kilometers per hour when she spotted the two women, both of whom were wildly gyrating their backsides as the SUV motored down the highway. A third woman can be seen hanging out of a passenger side window, capturing the dangerous maneuver on her cell phone. Fredoff said the unidentified women jumped on top of the SUV on two separate occasions, causing several other drivers to slow down and inquire about the spontaneous dance party. The SUV did not have a license plate, according to Fredoff, who did not report the incident to St. Louis Hospital. After the videos went viral, local police said the act is illegal and extremely dangerous. All three women eventually got back in the car, and incredibly, no one was hurt. Now updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today.